Hi everybody, and welcome to TFT Tarot for Today, Divine Dabblings with Oberon and Banshee. This is me, Oberon, with my Friday show, The Outlook on the Emotional Exchanges. And it's my weekly forecast that's specifically dedicated towards emotional issues, so be that about our relationships or primary or otherwise, or just anything that's happening to us that affects us in our emotions, somehow in our feels, as they say. Now, I do that with a reading that we've come up with, and we basically throw three cards. The first card tells us what is that actual experience or emotionality, vibration coming to you. And the second card will concern why this is important. And then finally, where will this lead to? So this week I'm using Clive Barrett's Ancient Egypt Tarot. And it's actually kind of like this is a flashback Friday, because when I started the emotional exchanges, I was using this deck for the readings. I felt that the quality of the cards resonated strongly to emotional, heartfelt vibrations. So I do the reading for the elemental signs of the Zodiac, and we're going to start off with the air signs. Air signs are Gemini, Libra, and Aquarius. So this one, and I'm going to start off the reading for everybody by doing something which I used to also do from the Flashback Friday, from the first time, and that is basically what I would call the word of the week. And the word of the week is drawn from my Egipicos Keir Tarot, and it's just a one word from the tarot, which is actually printed on the cards. So going to do that for each of the signs. So first up is, of course, air signs. Air signs are Gemini, Libra, and Aquarius. Prescription. Well, that's one of those old-timey, whiny words, you know. But prescription means this is something you want it to be. You know, this is something that you prescribe, that you sort of say, this is what people should do. It's kind of Pope-like in a way, you know, it's sort of authoritative in a way. But I guess this would be saying to the air signs that, you know, in terms of intentions about relationships, romance, otherwise, you know, you have to prescribe for yourself what that course of action should be or how that should flow. So that's the word of the week. So this one's for them. And so once again, what is that emotional essence or energy that is coming to the air signs? That's nice. It's the page, well, it's the Princess of Discs, which correlates to the Page of Discs or Page of Pentacles in the regular tarot. So what's coming towards you is maybe this sense of really being able to study or explore what you're feeling in terms of your emotions. That's what's important here. But you're doing this in maybe a semi-detached way, or in a way of feeling a sense of wonder about it in a way. It's a discovery. Pages, you know, princes in this deck are sort of awakenings and movements towards something new being discovered. So this is saying really, you want to really explore or study this feeling of strength or emotional something that's coming towards you. I mean, you want to study it at that level. You know, it's sort of a little bit more abstract in a way than, you know, just physical involvement perhaps right from the start. So why is this important? And that would be the Two of Wands reversed. So the Two of Wands reversed is maybe indicating here that it's important because you feel, you know, maybe what you have been doing didn't work out, that it sort of caused you to feel, plans weren't working out, and it was time to move on. And this is especially true if there was something, relationship minded or romantic minded happening here. You may feel like this is a time to study either what went wrong and maybe try to incorporate that into moving forward, or maybe it really is purely about understanding what went wrong and nothing to do with what card 1 is, which is, the opportunity to explore. But that's why it's important, I guess, because it's now moving on. This shows that in a way. So where will it ultimately lead to? It's the Star, and it's upright, so that's nice. The Star is telling us really, you're moving towards something that really inspires you. So you may be moving towards a really critical primary situation or relationship, an epiphany of some sort, or some sort of relationship or situation that truly makes you feel very hopeful about where you're going, especially in terms of love or the emotions. So not bad. Okay, water signs, or air signs, I'm sorry. All right, moving on now to the fire signs. We start with their word of the week. Fire signs are Aries, Leo, and Sagittarius. The word of the week that kind of just gives us a tone, something to think about or something to possibly try to be. That's once again from the Egipicos Keir. How nice. It's the Star. So the Star is the word of the week. This is saying keep hope alive. This is saying look for positive news about relationships or positive news about your place in relationships. Maybe you are that shining star that inspires other people towards their best possible them in terms of relationships or similar things. So not bad, fire signs. All right. And now for the reading for the fire signs. Once again, Aries, Leo, and Sagittarius. So what is coming to you, emotionally speaking? Why is it important? And where will it lead to? Fire signs. Card 1. The Chariot. So something is definitely moving quickly towards you. It's probably a challenge. Maybe this is an opportunity for you to move into or onto a new project that brings great emotional delight to you. This could signify a relationship, fire signs. This could be saying you taking motivation and taking the reins of trying to achieve a relationship. Maybe, some of us look at certain relationships or types of relationships as goal-oriented, that they want to have this date or this person, or that they're a challenge being in this relationship. I know, it sounds kind of misogynist in a way. But why is that important? And it's the reverse 3 of Cups. So I'm not sure if I can correlate that exactly, because of course the reversed 3 of Cups could be talking about a situation where we find that something has turned unhappy. It could be saying really that, you haven't really been able to be successful in this relationship before. Maybe this is a relationship where there is sort of a kind of game aspect to it, that each are vying for control. That could be a fire sign thing. But it's important to realize that you could cause some pain, you could cause harm, you could cause people to feel like they don't feel comfortable. I'll just leave it at that. Where will this lead to, though? Where will it lead to? And it's the reversed Queen of Discs, Queen of Pentacles. So this could be leading to a couple things that maybe equate with the idea that you're not really producing here, that maybe you will have a deleterious effect on a relationship. You know, I could also look at this from the sense of somebody who maybe is possibly trying to help, but really trying to have influence or interfere in somebody else's relationship. And so maybe the Queen of Discs reverse says, you're back to the drawing board, and you really shouldn't have been trying to make up, you know, for somebody else. You know, sometimes we have to let people fall on their own, if that's what this was about. But it's probably more likely that it's about your own sense of relationships. And maybe this tells you that if these are the kind of, you know, things you're working towards, maybe some of this is also about how well you manage it too, because the Queen of Pentacles, Discs, Coins is also about our management qualities. And so when it comes to relationships and love, that is truly a challenge. You know, you can't always handle what other people really feel or want, let alone yourself. But if it's in a relationship, what that other person wants. All right, so that's the fire signs. And now we will move on to the water signs. And water signs are Cancer, Scorpio, and Pisces. This is going to be your word of the week. I've decided to do the words of the week at the beginning of the reading because it sort of sets the tone in a way. So this time I'm just going to pull it at random. It just came out to me. Voila! Water signs, especially Scorpio, you have Major Arcana 13, Death. And of course, that's change. That's saying really that maybe the word of the week is about change. And this could be truly physical change, but it's more likely about, you know, mental, spiritual change, how we truly feel deeply, perhaps, about our love life, our relationships. Maybe we feel that something needs to change, and more often than not, that change is within ourselves. So don't forget that, water signs, that be the change you want to be. Make the change you need to be, especially when it comes to what may be making you happy or unhappy. So that was the word of the week for the water signs. And I am now moving on to the regular reading. Remember again, this is from Clive Barrett's Ancient Egypt Tarot. And we are asking those questions. What's coming to you, emotionally speaking? Where, or rather why? Why is it important? And where it will lead to. Okay. What's coming towards you? Well, it's the Hierophant. And you know, the Hierophant can actually be talking about marriages and unions, of course. It's sort of is signified right there. It's a sense of the Pope or some sort of, you know, religious authority. But it could be saying, too, in terms of the other meanings of the card, that what's coming towards you is maybe a sense of you feeling from an emotional point of view. Maybe you're pulling back a little bit and you're sort of working with more conventional ideas about how you want to express love, but also if you are seeking love, how you're seeking love. It's kind of hard to explain, but it could just be saying really that you want to maybe reevaluate how you play the game of love and maybe feel that there could be some changes or some ways that you should work within a sense of limitations, convention, traditionality, or restrictions, if that makes any kind of sense to you. So where will this go? Or rather, I'm sorry, I keep saying that. Why is this important? And it's weird because, of course, in a sense, the High Priestess is sort of the feminine opposite of the Hierophant to some people. Now, she is reversed, and so this may be important because this is saying really you might have to work with the sense of what you know societally or conventionally, because maybe your intuition is not really very spot on right now. Maybe you are having a harder time negotiating some of the things that maybe you're coming up with in your intuition. It's not that these are false images or that some part of yourself is lying to you, but maybe you can't totally square the idea of what your intuition says and maybe what your more common sense says, or what society could be possibly moving you towards too. We're influenced by people and situations around us, and maybe that's not squaring with what's in our heart to some degree. So where will this go? And it's the Ten of Discs, Ten of Pentacles, reversed. Well, it could be going for a sense really of bucking. You know, it almost goes back to that idea of tradition in the Hierophant, but maybe you're going to be, you know, bucking the wisdom that others may be trying to give you. You may be finding that this puts you at odds with people in the unit around you, whether it's your family or it's your community. And so, water signs, if you are making, you know, some serious moves or changes in a relationship, don't forget that other people may also have to feel that they have to tell you something about that and what they feel that means to them too. I mean, this involves maybe more than you. So that's it for the water signs. And now we will move on to the earth signs. Earth signs are Taurus, Virgo, and Capricorn. We're asking those questions again, but first we're going to do the word of the week from my Egipicos Keir Tarot. It is a tarot, but rather than divided by major arcana and suits of the minor arcana, it just numbers every card from 1 through 78, and you do get the major arcana in order, but then from there it's 23 through 78, and there's a lot of astrological information on the cards, but ultimately what we're looking at is that one word that the card is. It's sort of similar to the one word of the tarot, the Chariot, love, death, you know, that kind of thing. I like it because I think it gives me an opportunity for another word, one word mantra kind of thing. So earth signs, here is that word for you. Well, ain't it the truth when it comes to love and emotions? The unseen. And of course, the dynamic duel of Geb and Nut, or Newt, earth and the sky. So I think what this is saying really for the earth signs, I see the little scorpion there too, that this is a week where maybe you can just expect things to be exactly the way they're supposed to be. The earth and the sky, it's always the same every day. But I think what you'll see though is that just means every day is something different, and you can't necessarily expect it, especially in terms of relationships. You may just find really that this is a week where you should just be prepared for anything to possibly happen under the stars and the skies. So let's get on with the rest of the reading, and we'll want to get out of here then. Once again, that's reading is for the earth signs. Those are Taurus, Virgo, and Gemini. Capricorn. I don't know why I said that. So what is coming towards you? What is the emotional essence or qualities that vibrations, actual events that could be moving in your direction? And it's the Four of Wands reversed. That's not so bad. This could be saying this is about, to some degree, your home life. This is about maybe how people maybe are looking at you and sort of feeling like they want to welcome you. It could be also a bit of the other side too, the welcoming that you extend to people too. But I think this is saying really that maybe with some minor limitations, somebody maybe is opening up to you and inviting you. Somebody wants you to join them. It's not necessarily a relationship encounter, but it is sort of like maybe a friendship kind of vibe coming. Maybe it could build towards something else if you're interested in that, but maybe it's about community and fellowship. And so you may have had some experiences recently that maybe allowed you to meet or interact with maybe new people, and maybe this is a continuation of that. Okay, so then why is this important? And it's the Princess or Page of Discs once again. It's important because I think this is the beginning of an effort for you to really study and be involved in maybe a more investigative, scholarly, but also still abstract pursuit of knowledge, especially where it may pertain to love and emotionality. Maybe you will have an opportunity to find something greater in this community that may be pulling towards you, this foundation of some sort, so maybe this is about joining new social groups or new situations where maybe the emphasis will be on pleasant things, on good things happening. This could just be a parents group for kids, because we all love our kids and we want to interact with other people who have kids too. I mean, it could be anything really. So earth signs, you go. So where will this ultimately lead you to? So that's why it's important, though, is because it gives you that opportunity to really have this exploration, something you want to do. Where will this lead to? We get it again. It's the star. And, maybe I didn't shuffle well enough. The star's shown up in almost every reading here. But I think where this leads to is the idea that there's something really inspiring, very much so an omen of something really good happening that maybe is building in terms of emotional love, friendship love, unconditional love of different sorts. So that's what I have for the emotional exchanges this week. Seems like some of this is really good for some of us, and some of it is just sort of, taking time to kind of explore and maybe seek out something new. At any rate, I'd like to thank you for joining us and just remind you that, of course, you can watch our happy hour. That's tomorrow at 10 o'clock, and that'll be on from 10 to 11. And then also to Banshee's Material Matters is on Sunday from 10 to 10:30 or so, but 10 o'clock is when it premieres. We are live in the chat room for this recorded show. Later on Sunday will be our first Sunday live stream in about 2 weeks. Yoo-hoo. And that's from 2 to 4 p.m., our regular live stream. Come in, ask questions, get answers, and hang out with the Tarot Tribe. So it's been wonderful seeing you again. We will see you next Friday for another segment of Oberon's Outlook on the Emotional Exchanges.